Yabrub Nation, Riab Dawid here, as we continue this process on the legality of truthfulness concerning the Mu'adim, that is the feast days of Yah, that constitute all of the days that he has set aside for a nation of his election. We have been elected. And there were things that are remnants on last evening. Somewhat I want to touch that. But I want to bring in the focus of the things. And I am not exactly sure which way to go, but I'm sure there's a way. Hallelujah. I want to begin here in Bereshit 17. Bereshit 17. Bereshit 17. And verse, I got a sum of information, but it is going to take away time. Not take away, but it's going to take quite a bit of time. So I'm not going to share all of this, because the whole agenda of this teaching is we're fallen under a delusion of lies. And we celebrate the Mo'at or the Mo'adim out of order. And we have this thesis, it's not truth, that has been handed down by those that classify as the Jews. You do not even find the word Jew, J-E-W, for Judaism in Torah. You find the word Yehudah, that represents the nation of that people. You find the word Ephraim, of the two houses of YisraYah'ale. And there has been this individual called YHWH that constructed the times and the season. And I say to everyone, by chance you may hear this, your feast day celebration are lies. They're not at the time that you are ordained. Here is one that you are raised up out of the bosom of Hagar. Yet it was a people a nation that will flow out of him, and many nations and people will come forth out of that Zerah. You did not curse him. He did not curse him. And yet he raised up a legitimate people, YisraYah'ale, that they will see by their determination and how to live and walk right before the Creator of Almighty Yah. I want to, I want to begin here in Bereshit 17:20, and we're going to proceed from there. And there are other things I want to bring in, introduce, but this is, let me see, Bereshit 17 and 19. Let's go there. Genesis, Bereshit 17:19. I think this is quite informative. It is very vital for us to understand the procedural constructs of Yah. It says here in Genesis 17:19, Yah said to Sarah, your wife bare a son indeed. He speaks to Abraham, a man that was past his ability, 100 years old. So his progenitive power, only y'all can do that. I believe this. And he said to Abraham that Ishmael lived before you. And Yah said to Sarai, your wife, you shall bear a son indeed. He emphasized that because out of that son shall proceed a nation of the elect, the governing power and the order of Almighty Yah. And you shall call his name Yitzchak. And this is it here, nation. Yah says, I will establish my brits, my covenants. His brits, his covenants is only with Beit YisraYah'ale. That's the only people that can represent the covenant blessings, his brits, that the world may see the power of the only true and living Creator. I will establish my bridge with him. And these are words that are vitally important. He says, for an everlasting, li'olam vi'ad, for everlasting covenant, and with his zerah, the seed, that he produced from Sarah, a son that is called Yitzchak, and his seed after him. No other nation but that nation. That is the true identity of YisraYah'ale. We have been given lies and constructs that are so false. That's why I say that the Hebrew Israelites, their doctrine is no different than the Baptists. They just simply use their credence of their doctrines, but they call him the same Jesus. They call him God. They call him the same God as the Baptists, the Methodists. They call on that same God. No different at all. It shows you the delusion of the minds of so many that have fell under that law, and yet they will call people among you every kind of derogative thing there is. Even the Caucasian will not even do that. And yet they will call them some of the most insane names. They call each other, they identify as Hebrew Israelites. They have disdain for one another. Don't tell me that's the Zerah of Abraham. Don't tell me that comes out of Yitzchak. It doesn't. And y'all says in this, 17:20, he said, and as for Ishmael or Yishmael, so he forgot him. No. He said, as for Yishmael, I've heard you, my son. Behold, I have blessed you. I have blessed him. The Barak poured upon this man, and yet every kind of Hebrew Israelites have disdain for this one. And yet they are the only one that was a zerah implanted a seed in that nation, Chara, that they're the only one that keep the calendar right. And those that say they do according to the will of Yah, they're liars. We can prove all things. Your calendar for Yah is a lie. It is a deception of lies. It's corrupt. It has disdained for the Most High. You can call it any way you want to. And many of us have been brought under that seductiveness, just like Jesus Christ and the Lord God, just like Halloween, and also Christmas and Easter. I know in my home we celebrated all that. And when the day y'all touched me that day, I have never, from that moment, I have not participated in those events, and I was ostracized for that. My mother, my family, I was ostracized, but that did not change me. I was ignorant as I am today, but I held fast to the factual thing. He said, Yishmael, I will Barak, I will pour out the blessings upon him. And not only that, he said, I will make the man fruitful. In essence, there will be the peri of Yah in him. Seed, production, children producing. I will make him fruitful. And then this is what the Most High said. And I will multiply him exceedingly. He will grow tremendously. He will be a gigantual people. He said, I will call 12 princes. He calls us, we are the 12 tribes of YisraYah'ale. Question to us all. Do we think that the slither of land that was a part of Africa, that Suez Canal and all of that, was built by man? I got the histories of everything. And yet that was a part of the landmass of what we call Africa. Africa was a part of that. He said, I shall multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he begat. And this is what Yah says. He did not say the devil. He said, I will make him a gadol, exceedingly powerful. A great, same word he used for YisraYah'ale, a great, am gadol. I will make him a great nation. I will make him a great nation. But my covenant, well, I will establish with Yitzchak, the birth of laws and the birth of Yah's institution. He said that will, I'm going to bless him richly. And then when this truth is poured out before him, although he has gone his ways, then shall his ears be opened. Yah's house and the election of his people, he scattered them to every nation. That was one thing I never could understand about the Hebrew Israelites' doctrine. He used the word puts. He scattered them to KOLE, and every nation there is. The Hebrew Israelites there. The true seed, birth by the living testimony of YHWH. Not the lie of your Jesus Christ. It's a lie. How do you support that when you know it's a lie? When every name in history, President Gorbachev, you can't translate a name. You can't translate a name. A name is always Hashem. It is always transliteral. As I said last night, my name, Dawid, I prefer Dawid. And yet when I was in Kenya, East Africa, there was a brother there, his name was David too. But they enunciated Dawudi. That gives you and resonate greater than David in the sense of this Americanized name. And that's the truth, nation. That's not what I want to teach you now. But this is the process to where I want to get to. Yah says, I will make him a great nation. My covenant will be with Yitzchak. And he left off talking with him. And Yah went up from Abraham. Look at verse 23. He was a part of the covenant. Yitzchak. We can say what we want to, but let us read 17:23. And Abraham took Ishmael and all that was born in his house, all of them, not some, those on the servitude and all. He took all that were born in his bed, and all that were bought with money. We have been bought with the money, the price of the dam of Yahshua HaMashiach. He took all of them, Ishmael, brought them, and every male among Abraham's house, every man, not some, Ishmael, all of those. And it says, and circumcise the flesh of their foreskin in the same day as Yah has said. He circumcised their foreskin, as we must circumcise our hearts. We have been brought up under every delusion of lies. You see how simple this is? It's not difficult. The only thing we have to do as a nation is spend a little time with him. We're not that busy. Spend a little time with him. Take a little time out. Instead of that activity, you and your family sit down. You don't have to try to understand the depths of everything in this book, but just understand the words of every verse that Yah pronounced. And he was circumcised. That is the covenant that this circumcision was only for the zera of Abraham, and he circumcised him after the flesh of the foreskin the same day, as Yah has said to him. They all agreed in that covenant relationship, the Brit Hadasah. They believed that Abraham knew the only and true Yah, the creator of the world. He brought Yishmael under that same yoke nation. You have learned, Hebrew Israelites. They have learned their doctrine from some of the most deceitful people on the face of the earth, just like I have. And I say to my friends and you that are the Caucasian skin complexion, you need to get this thing right. You need to get it right with your neighbor and come out of those corrupt lies. You know that they are lies. How do you get someone that's white out of Africa? Tell me. It's insane. Can I say this, my friend? When there are those that say, go back to your country, tell me where your generation is from. You came to this nation and destroyed those that were kind and receptive, and that will feed you, and you butchered them. Just like Tulsa, Oklahoma. You wanted the land of those people with the hue of my skin color. People that were kind. And they would tell. It was one thing about a poor white man. He feels ashamed to go to another white man, to us. But yet they loaned them money. They helped those Caucasians. And they were jealous. There were all kinds of people in that community. Every kind. And that wickedness of depravity, that was one of the most vicious killing. To show you, Caucasian man, your seed and your thoughts are of evil. You have never given those people their land back, worth hundreds of millions. You've never ever reconstituted those people. You took their land, just like you took the Indians, just like you take nations' land and destroy. And you're always going after someone that's weaker than you. I don't care if you're French, German, or English. Show me the land where Caucasian or Russian. It's not that many people in Russia. These are the Caucasian seed. We must deal with those things and live honestly among each other. And that's factual. I don't repent of that. And I don't take back one bit at all, because I will show us something tonight. Hallelujah. And they all were circumcised, the flesh of their foreskin, the same day as Yah had said. These are the things that Yah commanded them, and they obeyed. I want to, let's examine this in Genesis, Bereshit 22:15. And I'm going to skip verses because there are things that I want to get to tonight. It says this in Bereshit, Genesis 22:15, then I will drop to verse 17. It says, in the Melech Abraham out of Hashemaim, the second time, that in blessings I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your seed as the stars of the heaven and as the sand of the sea. Verse 17. Upon the seashores, and your seed shall possess the gates of your enemy. What happened, Hebrew Israelites? 2014. The lies that you propagated on every corner. How do you justify those things? Or the prophecy fell? It was never a prophecy that you had wisdom and understanding of that. And so you forgot, when other people are my hill, Going back to that little piece of land. The state of New York, those in New York City will overpower that land in the sense that will not be sufficient for growth of food. They don't grow anything in that little piece of land. Nothing. They grow nothing. Everything in that piece of land is imported. It is imported from the Arabics and the nations around them. How strong is that people? We can say what we will or want about a man of my hue. I was born during the times that you could see the imperialism of the Caucasian, how they disregarded us. You almost had to bow your head when you came across one of them. And that's the truth. That there was a fear and intimidation. That's not of Yah. And they gave us, as the old people of my, he would say, a stringy hair, peckerwood of a man. And you bought that. I don't care who you are, your theses or what you call your doctrine, stem from the seeds that they planted in our forefathers in their ignorance. They didn't know how to. Oh, that were those that knew the name, but they had the same principles in many regards of the Baptists and the Methodists and the Pentecostals. They had that, my friend. And so Yah produced seed after them, and see from them that they produce, that they have come into a greater space of light and understanding. They're much more in tune because they're educated. And they understand many of those people cannot read or write. Not many, but the vast majority. They can read simple things, but they could not read. They didn't understand what words meant. And so you could tell them anything, they believed it. Yah's feast days, they fall on the same type calendar as those that are Islamic. It is a lunar calendar. It is not a lunar solar or a lunar calendar like Christmas and Easter, but they must all wait until the vernal equinox. When is Easter this year? I think, when is it? The 24th, 23rd of this month? Tell me when Easter is. I think the vernal equinox this year was the 20th of April, or somewhat the 20th of April, or maybe the last part of the 23rd of March. I have all the dates. And you celebrate according to that delusional lie. Where does it say that in Torah? I don't care if you're Hebrew Israelite. What day is it? 31st is this month. So you're going to have it in April this year. This is your 383-day year of your Passover from last year. You know something is wrong with that, my friend, and the cowardly leaders are afraid to examine that. I don't care what our fathers taught us. They were wrong in many applications. Well, y'all talk to him. He's not talking. No one. If thou canst, we must believe. We believe what he says. We believe in YHWH. We believe the testimony of him. And I've always been inquisitive. What voice did he speak in when he spoke to you? I know his voice is like the thunder. It shakes the world when he speaks. And yet me and my sin, he speaks by his testimony. That's why he raised up men that will not be intimidated nor afraid. He said this, he's going to raise up his seed like the stars of the heaven. This is Yitzchak. and as the sand of the sea, and your enemy. Can I show us the blackness of those that were in Egypt, even today? I want to read this first. My friends, regardless of your skin complexion, Yahshua did not look like a Caucasian. Let me read this in Shira Hashiram, from the same page, the covenants with Abraham. It talks about the blackness of my beloved. This is Shalom, Psalms of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. Can I read this? And I haven't touched on these things in so many years. I would say probably 20 years, because I have a log of messages. I mean hundreds and hundreds of teachings that I never teach. I put together one this morning to understand the veracity of what we call love, that we call ourselves caring for others. But let me read this quickly here in Shira Hashiram, Psalms of Solomon 1 and 2. Let me read this quickly. Verse 1. It says, the Song of Songs, which is Shlomo, Solomon. It says this, verse 2, let him, she's talking about this, it's this love equivalence that we, the body, the woman, and we see the value of this great one, this King Shlomo. And we want Yahshua to kiss us. She says here, let Shlomo kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Not just any kind of kiss, no peck, but the kisses of his mouth. For your beloved is better than wine. The kisses of Hamashiach. Wine, the soothing taste and flavor of the wines cannot induce that rousing in our hearts to love him and to press beyond the ability of our will and our flesh. It says, because of the fragrance of your savor, of your 12 good ornaments, and your name is as the ornament poured forth, therefore, hear this, do the virgins love you? We that are clean, we that love Yah. That's what she represents, this body of Hamashiach. And we have not polluted ourselves with the affairs of the world and the doctrines of the world, which are lies. Your Jesus is a flat out wicked lie. Fact of the matter, you can never translate a name. I don't care if my friend there in Africa name was Dawid. My name is Dawid, David. You can't translate that. You must transliteral. You can never do that in any language. How did his name go from Yahshua to Jesus, a white boy? You can say what you want to Hebrew Israelites. You can't debate that. You will come up with some crazy objectives, but it's not truth. And you know that. You know it. Your doctrine is no different than the Baptists and the Methodists. No different than those that you say, you are the real Jews. Tell me how you get your feast days in this order. Tell me, please. Tell me how from last year to this year it will be a 383-day feast day. You don't even explain those things to the people because you're afraid to be wrong. Everything I do is wrong. Unless the guidance of Almighty Yah guide my mind, my will, everything I do, there's nothing right about what I do. Period. Can I proceed? Look what she says. I want to kiss your beautiful black lips. She said, well, that doesn't mean black. It does, liars. That's why I got the word shechachorik. blackish men. That's what it means. It doesn't mean because I'm feeling bad, I'm deep in depression. No. She says, I am black and comely. You daughters of YisraYah'ale, you've never seen nothing this beautifully black. I'm so black, I resonate with the blackness of tar. Beautiful pearl teeth. My eyes are clean and white. No pollution of drugs or anything. I have a love for the dispensation of what Yah has commanded, and I know this man. She said, I am black and comely. Well, you can't say that black. I'm going to prove that she was black. Yeshua was not a white boy. She said, I am black and comely, O you daughters of YisraYah'ale, as the tents of Kedar, and as the curtains of Shalom. I'm so black that when he sees me, that my blackness hides him. I am the curtains of Shalom. And then she said, I want to tell you something, daughters of YisraYah'ale. Because you think you're beautiful, serenading with all this pompous attitude, with all these colors on you. But look what she said. She says it again. Verse 6. Look not upon me because I am black. She says to us, I enjoyed the labor of my hands. She said, the sun has looked upon me. My friends, you Caucasian, when you want to get it done, you get in the sun, don't you? You want to get that skin at least brown. Stop it, nation. She was as black as the Ethiopians. I am black. Ark Marcos, those pictures. Put up one of those pictures for me, please. Which one? Let's go with these are the modern day Egyptian women. These are women of Egypt. Put up number 6 for me. She got gold toothpicks in her mouth and all. I know this is not the optics of what a woman of Yah should look like. But this one here, if she is not black as a blackberry, there is no coloration in her skin. This is an Egyptian woman. This is an Egyptian woman here. This is simply the modern day with dreads. But this is a black of blackness, isn't she? She's a black woman. She was not a pale-skinned Caucasian woman. Let's get real. She said the sun, you know the sun has Christian this woman. They have the American dysfunctional look. But if she's not black, there is nothing that expresses her color. She's a black. She's a black, very attractive woman. But this is the modern day Egyptian woman, how that's the Americanized constitution of what we call beauty, the fake hair and all of that. The daughters of Tizayon, you should never put that trash. You don't know whose hair. Depriving those poor people of India and places like that. That's a black woman. Let's go with picture 5. I'm going to hold it up here. This is a modern day woman of that nation as well. Of Mizraim. This is her. You can go on the internet and find tens of thousands of people. Why? Because they want to impress the American man, many do. And so they want to show that they dress like the women of that hue here in this country. And so they want to promote themselves for a husband. Many are in poverty, poor. I want to do one more, number 3. Let's look at her. I tell you, she got long synthetic hair She's a very attractive woman, young, old enough to be my daughters. All of them. I guarantee you that. Maybe even granddaughters. Very attractive woman. Very attractive. That's what she said to Shalomo. She said, I'm black like this. I'm purple black. And why is it that women, in my days, women were so ashamed to be blackish? They would dye their skins and everything. That's a black woman right there, isn't she? Very beautiful young daughter, young child, but she's just been polluted just like all those that are in your Hebrew Israelite whorehouses. The way they dress, the way they carry themselves, how you identify them at your feast days. You call them the B-I-T-C-H, the W-H-O-R-E, ho. You call them the H-O. That's what you say about the women. You're nothing but cowardly individuals. You're not even men. Even juveniles don't even speak like that. You have no decency of any kind of honor. Well, how do you know? Because I've seen them. I've heard them. It's amazing that all these big belly fat men, 3 and 4 wives, get out of here. I'm an old man, but I have not lost my virile nature because I take care of myself. I've worked today and I am tired. So I'm not going to be here but an hour. I'm going home. I am going home to lay down with my precious Ishmael, Imerafia. I didn't realize it was that late. We were working on one of the raised beds, Achia Wasadak and I. I went in the house because my knee was killing me. And I suddenly looked up. I said, Ima, it's 6:35, 6:30. And by the time I took a shower, I had about 10 minutes to get here. Could not even collect my thoughts or anything. That is a very attractive young woman. She got gold and all that. I'm talking about her skin complexion. Just like this one said to Shalomo, I'm black. I'm black because the sun has made me black. There is not one Caucasian can say that the sun has made them black. Well, it's not about that. It is about that, my friend. Come on, my friend. I don't care if your skin is Caucasianist. You're coconut. You're Caucasian. You cannot support lies that you know that are violently evil, and the lies that your forefathers have spouted, that those that call themselves Hebrew Israelite follow the same genre, the same Lord Jesus, same false kind of celebration. They celebrate Christmas, you celebrate a false time of the season. And that's just factual. Can I continue here? I will. She said, the sun has looked upon me, my mother. Children were angry with me because I was blacker than tar. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. But my own vineyard have I kept not. My own house to create my lots of fruits, L-O-T-S, the lots, that I could bring forth a beautiful, fruitful individual. And they have looked upon me as though that I have no beauty. Can I say this, my friends? You whose skin is lighter than mine. It is one thing about YisraYah'ale. She thinks she's pretty because she's high yellow. There is nothing. I will put this young woman up against any high yellow woman. She's black as black. And so the world has made you to feel ashamed because of your blackness. I would love to be black like that. Look at how pretty and clean her eyes look. YisraYah'ale is just a pollution of her generation of ancestry has risen to the top. Somewhere there was a Caucasian in that lineage and that line. And that's just the truth. It is the factual matter. It is the truth. It is. And we don't want to deal with the reality of truth, nation. These Hebrew Israelites in these large camps, especially that one that marched for Kyrie Irving, they could buy a city. They could create enterprise. But I guarantee you, you drop down in those leaders' cribs, they're nice. They're nice. And the women living in poverty, food stamps, that's a wicked shame. Wicked. For I've been young, and I have been old, Dawid says. But I've never seen the righteous forsaken, or the zero of the seed of Yah out begging bread. You got the women of that association begging food stamp. Begging for food. You got big old fat leaders now, fat as hogs. Yes, they are fat. I'm not apologizing. And they will drive those, give more, give more, give more. What about the one that was Holy Ghost? He died now. The Holy Ghost preacher up there in New York. Y'all help us all. And these other ones that got their own little cliques with wives, multiple wives. Multiple. I mean, oh my. I am. Oh, I'm still young, you fool. You're old, old woman. Oh man, you're old. Just bear with that truth and just appreciate living as long as you have. I do. And I'm going to preach like this until I die. Well, it has nothing to do with color. Well, let's look at this in Ma'achaseth Shalisha. Ma'achaseth Shalisha in the book of Acts. Here, 8:26. The Torah says, and the Melech of Yah spoke to Philip, saying, I want you to come, arise, rise up in the Ruach and the power and the favor of Yah, rise and go toward the south of the way that goes down to Yerushalayim. And he says, and also of Isa or Gaza, which is the desert. And that's what he said. Before there was life pumped into that slither of land, he said, which was a desert. You can take anything and bring it to life if you have the ability to understand the construct of what life is. You get water, you get all of that. That's what he says. I need to look. I try to find that group in Dimona. I don't think they've done anything since Benjamin has died. What a liar, a corrupt man. Instead of just taking the people there and we're going to live right and live by the standards of Yah. We are, as a collective of people, Yahshua has one wife. He suffered many things. He has one wife. The assembly, the elect, the call out. That's what he has. And I've been married as long as you that are listening, 99.9% of you, and they that will hear this. I've lived with one wife, with faithfulness of love. And there is nothing, any component of my psyche, my physicality, she does not satisfy. That's what he meant. He didn't make 5 Eves, he made a man and he made a woman. And when sin penetrated, it brought in some of the most violent, evil lusts. One man, What is that clown there in Tennessee? I heard he had, I don't know, I don't even care what he's doing. And I am one that would debate any man. That is such a cold thing. You got one in this bedroom, another over there, another, maybe two sleeping in the bedroom together. That's evil. And when you get nearly 70, many of those men are taking Viagra, a pill, $90. I take nothing. I work hard and eat right. And Yah has blessed me even to this day as I sit here this night. Look at this in the book of Acts here. And the Malach of Yah spoke to Philip, saying, arise and go toward the way that goes down to Yerushalayim, from Yerushalayim until Gaza or Gaza, which is desert. There's no life in the desert. There's no power to draw from the deepest of the well. Now you can with modern day equipment. That's why places like Saudi Arabia, they have an oasis of their food and growing. You Hebrew Israelites, you tell me that you all can't even get together, and most of you say that the white man is the devil, but you live in the same neighborhoods with him. That's what you said. Go down that way to Gaza. And he arose and he went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia. Now I install in this where Ethiopia is. Ethiopia is where? On the continent of Africa. Black, tall men, regal looking, slim, tall, because they work. And I really like, you don't find many big belly men in nations like that. We are some of the most grotesque looking men in America, fat, big belly men, because we eat like hogs. As old Tommy Jordan, deceased, he's dead. We look like a hog, big bellies, fat, greedy and lustful. He's a man of Ethiopia. He was a eunuch. He was a man that had not engaged with any kind of female. He has set himself apart for Yah. Man has the ability and the will to do that. Do it. I did not and do not have that ability. I do have the ability to be an ish and to love a wife and to show us kindness and care and great love. Because Yahshua, great is he that is in me. He is in my heart. And his love expressed in me. Loving Yah and then our neighbor as we love ourselves. You will not infringe upon a daughter of Zion because you love yourself more. And you love that daughter like you love you. These men are sex fiends, demons of hell and devil. Let me say this to you, man, that call yourself a messenger. The women come that dress like sluts and whores, showing off everything. Their buttocks, their titties. And you tell me you're a messenger of Yah? You can't come here that way. I will not allow you. If a poor woman stumble upon us, has no clothing, we will dress her and put her own clothing. They go to these whorehouses, they're nothing but houses of infidelity. Whoredom, every kind of evil thing. The women dress like dogs. Yah said it is an abomination for a woman to put on that which pertains to a man. What would it look like if I walked in here with my legs out with the skirt all tight? But you allow that. You're evil. You are very evil, man. The daughters of Zion should dress chadosh. Their bodies covered. saving it for the man of their youth. You have made them nothing but whorehouses, coming into the assembly with shorts on and pants on. That's a man's garment. It's an abomination for a woman to put on that which pertains to a man, and the same if a man to put on that which pertains to a woman. Or they dress that way. Purse and all these men in Hollywood, Hollywood, everywhere. Skirts. And some of those that they call their stars. Dresses on. Basketball players. And all. That's so evil, abominable, immature, and so filthy. I mean skirts like a woman. Bags like a woman. It's an abomination. I've always carried a handbag to put my things in. When I was in Europe, those coming back from Vietnam and all of that, I never did like the fact that I got a big thick wallet in my pocket and all that. So I've carried a handbag since I got out of the military. License and all of that, I do. But I'm not carrying a woman's purse. And these men dress like that. You know I'm telling the truth, my friends. So when Philip saw this man of Ethiopia, he was an eunuch. He had a great authority under Candace, queen of Ethiopia. How does the Ethiopians look? Are they, that is no offense to Caucasians. Do they look like a European? And everything that I learned in my childhood, they look like a European. The Jesus was this white man with long hippie hair. You Hebrew Israelites, you've taken on that same essential look. Your dreads, they're even wearing their dreads like women. All effeminate looking. No man should cut his hair. And don't walk around with a bald face beard. Shave it all off. It's all right to trim it. To grow your beard and grow your hair. Now if you're going bald, no problem. But you grow your hair and you grow your beard. That's what Yah commands. Not to look any effeminate or anything of that degree. And that's what they do. Giving women authority. Yah said for the daughters, just be quiet. It was not the man that was deceived, it was you. And now the men are deceived by that. They have no strength, no maturity. I will not allow any daughter here call us a my issue, an exceptional teacher. She teaches the daughters. That's who she teaches. That's her place to do that. She's a senior. She's an elderly woman. She has acquired that. Her looks, her dress, her beauty. And that's factual. He was an Ethiopian who had charge of the treasures and had come to Jerusalem to Shabbat, to worship, to bow down before Yah, and to cry out unto Him. I did enclose that where Ethiopia is. I know that people really don't know. It is Ethiopia, officially the Federation Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Look what it says. Is a country located in the Horn of African region of East Africa. It shares the borders now with Eritrea to the north, in Djibouti to the northeast, Somalia to the east, and southwest Kenya. I visited that nation 30 years ago. I did. To the south South Sudan to the west, Sudan to the northwest. Is that Africa or is that England? You that have a different hue of me, that you're painted the Jesus of your hue, tell me, my friend, where is the location of basically the Caucasians? Where do they come from? Germany, East, West, still Germany, Slovakia, Russia. There's not a great population to Russia. So you're the minuscule people of the world. 300, 400 million people in this country. You're not a vast population of people. You really are not. We the smartest one, tell me. Your creations, let's be honest, nuclear bombs to burn that, what they did to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they had to stop. Burn the flesh of a man's body. Just the thermal reaction. What is your great achievement? I'm being honest with us. You robbed the Indians that were kind to you. You killed them. All the islands of the sea, you British, you English, you killed the people. You come, you robbed, you stole. That's just the fact of the matter. And then you put an intermediary in between the Indians, who are very arrogant and proud. You put them there to reduce the kind of, I watched that in Kenya, in Africa. The white man put Indians in their places, hard Indians, who are very cruel and rude. I'm not saying that that's the nature of all Indians, but I've seen it. I've seen it in this country. I don't patronize with them. I don't patronize with Chinese people because they're nasty. It's a fact of the matter. I tell you, old fat gut fellow from Mexico, at least they'll say, come on boy, let's do it. You know I'm telling the truth. And we all have been polluted by this Jesus of a thing. He's a liar. You must understand all the denominations in America, they were started by a white credence. They trained those men look like me. They picked out the one that were more educated and taught them, sent them to the cemeteries to seduce the people under the same lines. And those that had a sense of Yah, they would go to their brush arbors at night and they would sing and dance unto the Most High. We don't want to be honest with factual things. And we don't want to deal with those things that are concrete, untrue. And that's just a fact. Let me read this quickly. Hallelujah. It says in Acts 8:28, it says he was returning and sitting in his chariot. Look at this. It says reading. He was there in his chariot reading YHWH. Isaiah. He was reading from the writing of Isaiah the prophet. Then the Lord said to Philip, go near and join him. He was reading from YisraYah'ale. There were not that many people that had that. You must understand his position and who he was. He was an Ethiopian. That's what he was. That's what he was. That's what he was. So what color is a man's skin of that? But all of that is painted in the narrative of the Caucasian. That's something that is sad with that. Something is very sad Me talking like this, you would say I'm bringing race. It has always been a race, about race with you. That's why you gave the world a white Jesus. The least population of people. That's a fact. That's a fact. Look at this country today. These people are so immature that a thief of a dog, a violent, they pray over him. I will not lay hands on a beast like that. And they believe every lie he purports. You think that the Democrats are not liars? I don't care who's in power. I'm under the authority or the sonship of Yah through YHWH HaMashiach. And so Philip ran to him and heard him reading from YisraYah'ale the Nabi and said, Bino, do you understand what you're reading? Do you have any idea what you're reading? What you read? This is the beauty of one that desired truth. There's so many arrogance. You see these little boys on the street, know nothing. They have learned an order. They know how the people are going to respond, and they can pour the same juvenile, immature trash. They all say the same thing. That's it. They all do. White preachers, black preachers, Hebrew Israelites, they all do. Then he says this. Do you understand what you're reading? And he said, how? This is the arrogant of you that are my skin hue in this country. We know everything. And you don't even give your time, my friends. Come on. He said, how can I accept someone should guard me? And he desired Philip. He would come and sit with him. He said, how can I know? We know everything. We have not spent any time. We spent time video popping and all that. We have not spent any time with Yah. How can you know? Unless you be taught. You must be taught, my friend. You don't go to school and take physics in the 5th grade or the 6th. You go there probably never take that. You can't know things unless you're taught. Those that have an experience in that. You must be taught. You must be. And it says here, my friends, the place of the Katuv, which he read, was this. He was led as a sheep to slaughter, and like a dumb lamb, a lamb dumb, before his shearers. YisraYah'ale 53:7, he was oppressed, and he was afflicted. That's our HaMashiach. And we as a nation of people, we have been oppressed, we have been afflicted, and he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb. He opened not his mouth. He did not say one thing at all, nation. Did not complain. He did not rise up against the Abba. He did none of those things. None. Period. He did none of that. I say to, I have no enemies. You can be my enemy. You're wasting your time. Foolish as far as I'm concerned. You may not like me, but you're still wasting your time. Show me where I've gone wrong even on this teaching. Show me, please. Show me where I've committed an error in this teaching. The beauty of blackness is a beautiful thing. It is beautiful. I'm glad of who I am. A son, elected of the house of the covenant of YisraYah'ale. And YisraYah'ale is not that little slither of land there. You could not get 10 million, 100 million people there, could you? But from the great river Nile, isn't that something that run all through Africa? How do you nutheads? How do you do that? And you said you were going back in 2019, 2014. Have you made it? It would be an explosion in that little slither of land if New York City, all the people of my here moved there, and Los Angeles. The economy would go under. It would be crushed. His nation consists of the land that he has prepared. Some of the sons that are there out of the womb of Hagar, from the great river Nile, that's in your book, to the river of the great river Prat, that's Euphrates. In all that land, you can grow anything in there. I would have loved to go on there my days, spent about 12, 15 days, and toured the whole process from Mizraim in all those countries. But I wouldn't do it today if someone paid for it. I just don't have the strength, I don't have the time. That is YisraYah'ale. That's included that little slither of land. But he has a nation of people that 1 billion people could live. They're more than that. The land fruitful and rich. I'm going to stop there. We're going to continue. Our Zochim Birmi will be teaching on YHWH tomorrow. And our YisraYah'ale, our leader, will be teaching on Shabbat. I'm getting old. Let me say this before I end this. Men began to get older, they began to fear. I have no fears. And they don't want to relinquish things. They feel like it gives them power. I have only one power in my tongue, and that is life and death is in the power of the tongue. I want to see the younger Achim to get strong and be strong. I want to see every Ach, their lifestyle pattern mind. What's wrong with that? I mean, one of the sons to be like Mike J. Dog, sleeping with every woman. Those are the stories. I do apologize. Left his wife. Now that's factual on that. Factual. And so when we get older, we have this fear. I have no fear. Because I'm going to die one day. Life is going to end from me. I want to live around people that if I go before my Isha, that I know they will look after her. I know there are those that will take care of her. Period. I always say to my Ima, I prefer going first. I love the Achim, the few of us that are here. I don't want nobody bathing me. And I am a very, what will I say? I'm very clean. I like my body, my teeth, my hair, my fingernails. I love cleanliness. And I like to be clean. And I just do well by bathing myself. I don't want no having to wipe me on my diaper. I don't want that. For my Ima Rafia, there are those that will love her and help her. But I don't want that. So when it's my time, and I don't hold that back, YisraYah'ale, our leader, he's going to run this place. And there's no one that I fuss at like I do with him. And that's just a fact. May the riches of God rest upon you. Join us on YHWH. So King Benami always come with timely teachings and messages. So join us tomorrow night, all right? May the riches of Yah overshadow you in the only blessed name of assurance. That is the name of YHWH HaMashiach. I say to you nation, Barak and Shalom. Shalom.